Okay. Recording in progress. Yay. Okay, so welcome. If you are here on the replay, you just missed like a teeny tiny smidgen of this, but you're going to get the full effect. I am going to go back and share my screen so we can keep going. Sorry, ladies. I don't mean to be all over the place. I just am like remembered, and thankfully I'm remembered with when I did, because that would have not been fun. I have done it before in our group calls where I've forgotten to hit record and then I go back. Can you guys see that? Yes. Okay. I'll go back and just record myself talking because I forgot to record it so that the people that didn't come could see it. So I have been known to do that. So, okay, we can record it. Okay. So we know that all of us are going through some symptoms here. And if we just hooked on, I apologize, but we're looking at the list of symptoms that we're experiencing and writing down the number that we think we are experiencing right now, just off the top of our heads. So actually, before we get into this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I'm going to start with my origin story, and then I'll go into my menopause story a little bit later. So 16-year-old me in the gym for all the wrong reasons. I was on a journey to get as skinny as possible. Anyone else been there? Maybe put a yes in the chat if you've been there too. But I had an eating disorder for 6 years, and my main driver was the gym. I was always in the gym. I kind of stopped eating and used the gym as my outlet. So to say that I started the gym for all the right reasons is wrong, because I was there doing it to try and lose weight, which now I know is not the thing, but I didn't know that back then. So as I went through many years of recovery, but I was still interested in the gym. I loved fitness. I loved how I felt and what it would do for me. Yes, taught fitness for at age 18. Yes, it's so fun too. So while I was pregnant, actually, with my first son, I became a fitness instructor. And then while I was off with my kids, I became a personal trainer. And that led me to working in a couple gyms, a couple studios, to eventually owning my own gym. And Emily is actually here, who was there from the original when it started in 2006 and continued on when I kept it going until 2021. So while I was at the gym, I recognized that there was a problem. I thought for years that exercise was all you needed to do, that you could just exercise your way out of anything, right? A bad mood, you could exercise your way out of a bad diet, you could just exercise more, eat less, and you'd be able to lose weight. So that was my philosophy for many, many years. And then I started looking and going, there's something missing, like there's something just not right, because I was training clients and they were kind of looking the same, or I was teaching them in a fitness class and, year after year, everyone just, nothing changed. And I was like, we're missing something. So 2021 came, I closed the gym and I started online with stress reduced fat loss and the certified hormone specialist, because I had gone back to school when the gym was closed and learned all of this and learned that, you know what, I can help women more effectively this way than I can by training them in the gym for 1 hour out of their week. So that's kind of my origin story. That's how I got here today. I didn't go to school I didn't start off in university doing this. I went for social work and didn't do it. So I changed my direction just based on my life experience and the things that I had gone through myself. So back to why you're here. So you're over 40 and experiencing signs of menopause and belly fat. So you can put me in the chat if this is you, and we'll just see how many of you feel this way. So why you're seeing belly fat after 40? There's several reasons. You're under stress and experiencing hormonal changes. This is like the number one reason why you're experiencing belly fat after 40, okay? Stress and hormonal changes. You're overeating the wrong foods and undereating the right ones. And anyone that's been in my world knows what that means. It's really hard to put it into words, but you might think that I eat too much, but I'm going to tell you that 95% of the people that come into my program aren't eating enough of the right foods, right? And two of you, Christy and Tammy, I can see on my screen are nodding their heads like, yes. So it might not be that you might think, oh my gosh, I eat so much, but it's just those foods that you're eating aren't serving your body, which make you bloated and make you feel icky, but you're not eating enough food overall. Hopefully that makes sense. Another reason why is you're doing the wrong type of workouts for your age. You're maybe doing a lot of cardio, maybe you're running, maybe you're doing HIIT classes or spin classes or boot camps. These aren't necessarily the right thing for right now. They may have worked in the past, and you may still feel like you can kick some ass because you can do them, but you're not seeing any changes in your body. It's because when you do a high intensity exercise, you're increasing your cortisol. And if your cortisol is already elevated because of life and what you're eating, you're just exasperating the problem. Okay. You have poor sleep habits. We know from our chat that there's a lot of people that aren't sleeping well. So this could be a contributing factor to the belly fat. And you're running on empty. So you're burning the candle at both ends, right? You're not saying no, you're saying yes, yes, yes. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. You just feel I can do it. I can do everything. I was like that too. So just on this side, I have a few client before and afters just for you to see the transformations that happen. Every single one of them are at different stages. Every single one of them had a different hormone profile. And we'll go through that in a second, but I just wanted to have those there so you can see it's a good visual. So our first guest tonight is Christy. So welcome, Christy. You can come off of mute and say hello.
There we go. Hello.
Hi, thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So maybe in a short 30 to 60 seconds, I want you to explain to us how you felt before you joined Balanced Bodies.
Almost that whole list that you had. I was, well, yeah, mood swings and so tired and bloated and felt sick to my stomach all the time. Didn't matter what I ate, basically after every meal, I was just feeling gross all the time, achy, not sleeping well, just tired. So like energy was just so low, and I just didn't want to do anything. You know, I tried the different exercise programs, the beach body and weight loss and, keto and all of these things. And I never really saw results from it. And it got to a point where it's like, okay, I'm either destined to be like this for the rest of my life or something needs to change.
Right.
And yeah, I just felt gross all the time.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Now, where you're 6 months into your journey, and I would love to celebrate if you're okay with me sharing. You
Yes.
are down 53 pounds in 6 months. So
Yay.
it was all hard work, determination. Yes, great job. Awesome. She has done amazing. Everybody is different. And when people come on, sometimes weight loss is the thing we celebrate. Sometimes it's that you're sleeping through the night, right? We celebrate what it is that we have been trying to fix. So for Christy, she came in, was really skeptical. I remember that conversation, and you were, I just don't know. I've tried everything. And how do I know this is going to work? And she trusted the process. She saw that she needed some change. And now, in another quick 30 to 60 seconds, explain to us how you feel now.
I'm still working on the sleep thing, but I have way more energy. The mood we're getting there. It's all a process, but I I feel content after every meal. I'm eating all of the right things. I have so much more energy. I can get through my day and not feeling that crash at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm, up every morning and we walk in the morning. I do my workouts. I'm walking at night. Like I just, I I don't even feel like I can sit down and relax anymore in the evening until I get that little bit of exercise in. And I quite honestly feel great. I can't believe that I've lost 53 pounds in 6 months. Like
Yeah,
I'm still in shock over that, quite honestly. And
yeah, I bet.
I still have a way to go, but I mean, the whole process, as you said, I was skeptical in the beginning because I've tried different things and it just didn't work. And obviously it wasn't the right things for me. And it, yeah, it's hard to put into words exactly like how good I feel, and you know, the compliments and just trying to be a good role model for the rest of my household
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And they're coming along slowly, right? Like it's a process for them too, and they are coming along. So that's great.
That's
That's great.
when you live with boys and they're teenagers, that's hard.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. We are going to have a time at the end for Q&A. So if you do have a question for Christy on her journey, leave it till the end and we'll open it up for a chat afterwards. But I just want to keep moving along as well.
Yeah.
So next we've got, you feel overwhelmed with information overload. Now tell me in the chat with a yes if this is you. You are on Instagram and you see people telling you all these different things. Your friends tell you things, your doctor tells you things, right? Yes, absolute yes. Heck, I get that way and I know what I'm doing, right? And I still look at things and go, oh, should I be doing that? So there is a lot of information out there. And not that it's dizzying for sure, for sure. I've read the books, watched lots of videos. Yeah. And even in the books, there's conflicting information between what there's doctors out there that promote these things. And then there's people online that promote something different. And, we're just bombarded daily with information. We're in an information overload right now. So yes, exactly, Stephanie. This is exactly what we talked about for sure. So you follow a ton of fitness people on social media, hoping to get some free information to help you feel better, to lose weight, because it should be easy, right? It should be just what you eat and what goes out. That should be the system. And then you're following, 10 people and they tell you 10 different things and you go, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to take a little bit of this. And then you're like, but it's not working. And they told me it would. So what's going on? And then your brain starts, exploding because of all this information. Your friends keep giving you advice on what worked for them. Please put in the chat if you've had somebody say, you should try this supplement because it worked for me, right? And then you try it and you feel nothing too many times. Yeah. I've even been there, right? Oh, that one sounds good. I should take that. And you really don't know who or what to believe anymore. And that's across the board, right? Like I said, we have so much at our fingertips. We don't know anymore. There's that overload in our brain. And who do I believe? Who do I trust? Information versus knowledge. Yeah. Yes, we need the knowledge. You're exactly right, Judy. Too many shake and breakfast on the go suggestions for others. Yeah. There's, you know, in the past and things like that, I've done shakes at the gym because we all want something easy. We all want something quick. We all want something fast. And unfortunately, after on our menopause journey, those things don't work. So they may have worked like isogenics, or I think I sold at the gym. It was by Salis, delicious, but it wasn't like it was drink shakes all day long, don't have actual food. Well, what are you getting from that, right? And again, it was the knowledge I didn't have back in the day and going, okay, this is going to work. People are going to be excited about this and they're going to get results and then all that stuff. You just want answers, but you can't seem to find any that work. Like I said before, you're trying this, that, and the other thing. You're trying to put these little pieces together to form this puzzle that isn't going together. Does that make sense? You're grabbing these pieces, but they're from the wrong puzzle. So, what I've done is I've put everything together in one spot. And what I encourage my clients to do is to stay in my lane, right? Because if you go out of my lane, so my lane's here, and then I've got a friend, Coach T. We've done a live together. You guys might have seen that. Her lane's here. What I tell you, what she tells you, they both work for different types of people. But if you do some of mine and some of hers, it's not going to work. That's the problem, is we're trying to do too many lanes, trying to take almost the easiest route of all of those pieces and put them together, and it's not working. So whether it's, you know, you want my help or someone else's help, just stay in that one lane and turn your blinders on to everything else. As a practitioner, I have to do the same, because I often look at, I follow a lot of fitness people. I'm in a fitness mastermind where I've got coaches at my disposal, and they all tell different things. And I have to just, you know, shut off my brain and just be like, oh, she's wearing a pretty bathing suit right now. And that's all I'm looking at. So, because it's too much sometimes. So we're going to talk to Tammy now, because Tammy was in this space. She was overwhelmed. She had tried all the things. She had, you know, invested time into a trainer, into a nutritionist, all the things. So I'm going to let Tammy explain her story from where she was before, and then we'll go into where she is now. So thank you so much for coming today. Hi.
Hi, folks. I'm Tammy. I'm excited to share with you. So when I came to meet Carrie, I was frustrated. I was out of control. I was embarrassed. I was at my wit's end. I sold my skinny clothes. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm just like, I thought I need a new job. I thought I can't control these things. Like, who I was not who I was now. Like, I felt lazy. I felt tired. I had let my trainer go because I'm like, that's it. We can't fix anything. I was taking nutritional supplements that don't work with my body anymore. My doctor had done all these tests. Oh, you're fine. Keep doing your cardio. You got to keep your heart healthy. So I'm doing my cardio. I'm doing my stuff. Then I go to an allergist. I'm like, oh, you need a CT scan for your headaches and things like that. So I was getting concerned. And I'm thankful for a great friend that recommended, who you will talk to later on today, Billy Joe. And I was apprehensive joining because I thought nothing's worked. And so thankful I've met Carrie and feel so much better. So thank you.
Yes, and I do recall there was a time where you did a very strict calorie reduction where you were hardly eating anything in a day, right?
Yes. So I tried all the things, and that's the thing is I
Right.
had the knowledge that like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, and it was painfully strict. I also did intensive, like heavy lifting weights. Like I was flipping 200-pound tires before and things like that,
Yes.
but it was beyond my control. I was losing strength and I was eating less and trying to do more. And Carrie's thankfully is helping me out.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Tammy is that she is about 6 weeks into the journey at this
Yep.
point, right?
6
6
weeks.
weeks. And what I love is that she's seen a lot of external changes in herself, right? We've talked about how to change some stress in her life. And can you talk a little bit about just in those 6 weeks for you, what has changed?
Yes. So for me, it was I feel more control, but I also the key thing for me, folks, was the hormone test. Finally, I found something that was like, oh, this is what's going on. It was like, and then it was like, oh darn, I'm like, I gotta do something. And it was really hard because what it revolved was who I thought I always was. Like I was that person to get stuff done. I had to be busy. I had to keep doing this. And having to slow down was hard at first to but then the reality check is this was my warning sign and I need to take action. So what I found is that the hormone testing, and because it's a test, it's results and it's accurate, it's concrete, it gave me the confidence to say, no, I got to say no. I got to slow down. And I looked at it in all ways of life when it was, you know, what I was doing in exercise, what I was putting my body to feel it, what I was doing at work. So I felt like it was really like my golden ticket to help me feel confident to make the changes.
Yeah, and you know, like she said, she was a yes person. I don't know if you said that, but she was a yes person. Always had to be busy and couldn't understand. I'm eating right now. I'm eating enough food. Why am I still feeling this way? And it wasn't until we recognized together that she wasn't slowing down. So even though she was feeding her body, it was the external stress that was causing a majority of the problems. So now she started saying no to things. She's, you know, taking into account her health versus her work, right? And just learning to slow down. And that's a big piece for a lot of us, because a lot of us want to be busy. We're, you know, we're told that being busy is like a badge of honor. I was there.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, you can relate to that, Tammy. Yeah, for sure. Big demands on us, for sure. For sure. So thank you so much, Tammy. Again, if you want to ask some questions at the end, we'll have a time for that. So put a yes in the chat if you've tried it all. We've kind of talked about this a little bit and you don't know what to do anymore. Put a yes in the chat if this is you or if you can relate. Yes, yes, yes. Before you met Neely, yes, for sure. Definitely, yeah. Yeah, so we've all been here too, right? We've tried it all because we've seen it on social media or our friends tell us, or wherever we see it, right? In books or whatever. So you feel like you've tried it all and have lost all hope. This is probably where you're sitting at right now. So you've dieted most of your life. And by dieted, that's like eating less, right? You just, oh, I got to eat less. I keep gaining weight. So let's cut my calories back and back. And then, you know, you're back to 1,000 calories, not even realizing it. And that's not even enough to sustain you if you just stayed in bed all day. So we just have this, and it's not our fault. We were told this as at younger ages, that we need to eat less to weigh less. So it's been ingrained in our brain. It's just a matter of changing that. Maybe it's because you haven't followed a plan consistently. So like we talked about before, you hopped from this piece to this piece. It's like, I'm going to try this. Oh, 2 weeks later, it's not working. I'm going to go over here and try this because someone else I saw somewhere had success here. So I'm just going to hop over here. And then you keep hopping and not staying, right? Keeping those blinders on and staying the course. And that's really a big part of it, is the consistency. You go for the quick fixes. Now, everyone should have their hand up here because we're all guilty of this, I'm sure. I can lose weight by taking a pill. I can drink a morning drink and it'll help me lose weight. Like, we've all been there. We've all, you know, maybe we've all done those shake diets before, right? And it's, again, no fault of your own. We want something quick. We want it yesterday. We don't want to wait. We don't want to take the time. But unfortunately, it's not how it works. Those, you know, when you talk about all the diets you've tried, and I listed them earlier, intermittent fasting, keto, Atkins was a thing a while ago, right? These are all made by men for men. So I want you to, if you take anything away from this tonight, I want it to be this, that if you go and you see the shiny red object of this great diet, remember that it's probably been made by a man for men. And if anyone has a husband in this room that has decided to lose weight and all they do is cut out a bag of chips or their beer at night and they lose 20 pounds, you know what I'm talking about. It's easier for them. When you're studying hormones, women's hormones can take 4 days to study. There's so much content. Men take like a day because we're more complex, which is the amazing thing about us as well. So it's a deterrent, but it's also a great, wonderful thing that we are more complex. And you've probably felt this way because you haven't adopted a lifestyle that fits for you. And that's really what this is about at this stage, because wherever you're on your menopause journey, and we're going to go up into that in a second, wherever you're at, this is it for the rest of your life. You're either pre-menopause or you're in your menopause journey. There's no like getting out of this stage. We have to learn to live with this lifestyle now if we want to feel good going forward. Okay. And then I would like you to meet Billy Joe. So Billy Joe, you can unmute yourself and say hello. Welcome. Are you there? Are you there? I can't see you. Tammy, do you see her? Is she there?
So I don't see Billy Joe either. I see her beautiful photo.
Yeah, on my screen, but not.
No.
You don't see her back. Okay. So I'm not sure where she went, but I will fill you in on Billy Joe's story. Unfortunately, maybe something happened and she had to hop off. But so Billy Joe came to me basically the same as all of these points that she tried everything. She was feeling overwhelmed. She didn't know what to do. She felt stuck in her body. She didn't like how she was feeling. She didn't like how she was looking. She felt gross in her clothes. And she just really was like, I don't know what to do anymore. So I remember a couple conversations early on, much like Christy and I have had, where it's, oh, this isn't working. This is so much food. Or I want to see faster results, right? And it was the calming, we're just trust the process, right? The coaching piece of it. Like, let's just work through this, go as you might. And for Billy Joe, it was every week she was going down and down and down. Now this is like 1 or 2 pounds, maybe a half a pound. So at the end of 6 months, I believe she lost 47 pounds at the end of our journey together. And she was like a whole different person. So same thing for her, stress in her life. She had, she worked longer hours, but she made this work. She saw that it was working and she adopted the lifestyle. Now, her and I have been working together for the past year, and I can honestly say that this is now her lifestyle. She went through in our time together, she's gone through several life events and tragedies that could have thrown her off. But she was so focused on, I never want to feel like that again. So I'm going to do what I can. And she would meal prep when she was like knowing she was going out of town for a couple of days. She meal prepped. So she had food that she knew would make her feel good while she was out of town. And she just kept with her lifestyle. So even though life threw her through the hoops, she kept her lifestyle, and it kept her sane. It kept her emotions in check. It kept her feeling good, which kept her stronger. So she was actually the strong one during this one event I'm thinking of. She was very strong for her family. And it's because she didn't let her habits slide. She stayed the course, and she's staying the course to this day. We're working on different things at this point, but she's staying the course. And I wish she was here so you could hear her voice. I'm not sure what happened. But I can't go on, she would be able to tell you sort of where she was and where she is now. But I can tell you just from what I've experienced is she is like, I never want to go back there. So I need to do this, this, and this to keep on track. And it wasn't that she adopted these things, and maybe like Christy too, and Tammy, like, it's not like we adopted these things. Oh, it looks like Tammy's coming back in. So maybe this is Billy Joe. It's not that she adopted them from day one and was like, right? It was, I have it set up like a process. It's step by step. It's not like tomorrow your whole life is going to change. It's a step-by-step process to ease the overwhelm and to make you feel like you've got this. Is Billy Joe back on?
Could be, because there's a couple Tammy Gerbers.
Billy Joe, if you're there, say hi. If not, we'll move on. We'll maybe have her do a little snippet for you that I can record and send to you, just so you can hear her voice as well. Okay, and the last one, you're sick of always starting over. How many times have you started over on Monday? Oh, I'm going to start Monday. And it happens repeatedly over and over. Put a yes in the chat if this is you. Yes, yes. Couple yeses coming in. So many starts. Yeah, every Monday. Yes, too many times. Yeah. And it doesn't feel good, right? Because it almost gives you like, oh, here I go again, trying again. What if you didn't have to ever try and start on a Monday again? It's just your life. You feel great all the time. You never have to start again. How would that feel? Pretty good, right? So the reason you're feeling this way is because of inconsistent eating times, which are making you feel hungrier and more likely to binge. Raise your hand if you get these binge states. Maybe say yes in the chat so I can see everybody, right? your eating is all over the place. You don't have breakfast every day, or you skip lunch because you're at work, and dinner's mayhem because you've got to take the kids here and there, you've got meetings or whatever. Yeah, everyone's popping in that way. Thank you. You're a weekday warrior. Anyone heard of the weekend warrior? I changed it to weekday warrior, where your meals are on point Monday to Friday, but then the weekends you're like, I need a break. I need to relax. It's just setting you up to fail. Because if you think about it, 2 out of 7 days that you are not staying focused is 70%. So if you're only putting in 70%, and that's just with nutrition, how can you expect 100% results? Billy Joe's trying to call me on Instagram, but you're obsessed with the number on the scale. And this can be why you always start again, because maybe the scale goes down and then it goes up and over where you were, and you freak out, and then just go give it all in and go, why bother at this point? And then you feel like garbage, and then you start all over again on another Monday, right? You also have an all or nothing mindset. And trust me, this one is big. Everyone that I've ever talked to has this all or nothing. I'm either all in or I don't want to give anything. And what I want to encourage you is to think of more of like an 80-20, right? We're never going to be 100% on all of the time. I'm not even 100% all the time. But if you can adopt like an 80-20%, like 80%, 20% rule, you'll feel like you're accomplishing something. It means that, instead of every meal Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because usually weekends start on Friday, right? This is where our mindset goes. So that's 3 days. Instead of every day you're off track, maybe it's like Saturday night dinner. Like, how would that feel if you then got back on track the next day of eating all your meals? And you would feel a lot better. And you wouldn't feel like you're doing all this stuff and giving up, because you're just consistent with it. And consistency is really the key. Oh, so I'll tell you a little bit about my journey here, just so you know that I've been in your shoes. All of us have a different journey. My menopause journey started at 35. I had no idea anything about. Oh, there we go. Billy Joe came back. Hi.
Wait, you can see me?
I can see you now. Yes.
Okay.
So I just went through you. So what I'm going to have you do is at the end, I'm going to have you just give a little synopsis for us. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. No problem. And
Okay.
Ivy, my granddaughter, was the one that called you, not me. She hit my
Oh,
phone.
that's so funny.
I'm just like, what is happening now?
Oh, funny. Well, we're glad you're here now. So thank you. So like I was saying, my journey started at 35. I didn't know anything about perimenopause at this point. I had no clue. I was running my gym. Because I owned it, I was teaching multiple classes a day. I was the Energizer Bunny because I was working out like crazy, teaching classes, doing my own workouts. I'd probably go for a walk or a run afterwards. I had 2 small kids at home, and I was doing it all. And mine started with, I've had gut issues for a long time, and mine was always bloating. So I just stopped. I kept eating less and less and less, and my exercise was up here, right? Then my legs started hurting, and I was like, oh, I'll just work through it. It'll be fine. Anyone done that before? Just, pain's there. It's fine. I'm just going to keep going. It'll be fine. I kept going and going and going for years and years and years, ignoring this pain in my legs, until all of a sudden I couldn't ignore it anymore. And I was like, what's going on? Now, muscle pain, joint pain is a very, very common menopause symptom. So I had no idea that this was a thing. And so this is kind of what put me, no pain, no gain for sure. This is kind of what put me on this path of, I need to figure this out, because I'm working myself like a dog. I'm not eating very much, really. Like, I was, eating healthy in quotes, but I really wasn't when I learned about it. And my stomach just kept getting bigger, and weight just kept getting added on. Now, from a recovering anorexic, you can imagine how that feels in my brain. So it was something that I had to really overcome and work through. And it wasn't until I discovered my hormones through my hormone test that I went, oh my gosh, something has to change or I'm going to be in a worse state than I am now. I'm going to get sick, right? And things aren't just going to go well. So made my habit changes, which was not easy. If you can imagine, I was a 3 workout. By the time I left the gym, I was down to 3 workouts a day. And I would do a 6 o'clock workout. I would do a 9 o'clock workout. And this is weights. But now that I know what the difference is, I was basically doing cardio with weights in my hands. And then I would do another workout later in the afternoon. So I had to change it. And I had someone say, just do yoga. And I was like, yoga's for lazy people. And I that's not how I think anymore, but that's how I thought back then. And there was no way I was doing yoga. Going from 3-4 workouts a day to yoga, I was like, that's not happening. So it took a lot for me to change my mindset around what I should be doing now for my body. I had to learn all these aspects of what my body needed at this stage of life. And it's a journey, right? Like I'm going to tell you, I'm still on this journey. I don't think we ever get off. We get to a better place, but every stage of our life, something's going to change and we have to be able to adapt and change with it. So that's just quickly my story. So menopause is inevitable. Suffering is not. I want you to remember that. We're all going to go through menopause. Every single woman on this call in this world is going to go through menopause, but the suffering part doesn't have to happen. So you may choose to do nothing about your lifestyle and hormone levels to deal with the risks of serious conditions that arise from this stage. It's not just the aesthetics. It's the diseases that can happen. And that can be a whole other night that we can talk about that. But I firmly believe you don't want to. You don't want to get to that stage. You don't want to be sick as you get older, right? As we start working less and we have less responsibilities, do you want to be debilitated and like holed up in your house because you can't move or you're too sick to do anything? And you don't want to because you wouldn't be here if that was the case. So perimenopause to post-menopause, this is your menopause journey. And this signals significant changes to your health, your waistline, your energy, and sleep. And we need to be educated on these changes. We need to like come together and feel like we're not alone, because sometimes we feel like we're crazy because this isn't normal for us, because this isn't how we used to feel, but we do feel it now. But I want you to be educated. So my page is all about educating you on what happens during this phase. So if you haven't, go there and see what's all there. But I want you to have an informed decision as you go into this stage of your life. So maybe you're just starting in perimenopause, maybe you're post-menopause already. But I want you to have informed decisions so you're not just going off of what your BFF says, right? We need to make these decisions for ourselves based on what we need. So who here wants your weight loss journey to look like the red line? Just say yes in the chat. I know it's going to blow up because I would be there too. That would be awesome. Yes, one person. It would be nice. Yes, it would. Yes, yes, yes. Of course. Yes, for sure. Yes. Okay. So in a perfect world, this is what it would look like. And I have had some people, Billy Joe is one of them. Actually, Christy is one of them too, that have had this decline. You guys really didn't have these ups and downs. Mm-hmm. Billy Joe might be experiencing a little bit differently, right? Like we did this slide and now we're fluctuating a little bit, right? Yeah. But, and that's okay. This is just the journey. We have to be okay with all of these changes because this is just life. So usually what happens, right? You go down, you go up, down, and all of a sudden right here, see that where my dot is? I'm going to move it. There's that spike. That's when you quit. And why do you quit? Because you're like, this isn't working. And then you stop and you go back to old habits. Meanwhile, what happens after that spike? It goes way down. And this is the part that we miss, is that it's not linear. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. It's life, up and down, right? Our life isn't all roses all the time. So why would your weight loss journey be any different? And maybe your menopause journey doesn't require weight loss. Maybe you just need to sleep better and have more energy. But it's still a process. Like Christy said, her sleep is better, but it's not 100%. Her moods are better, but they're not 100%, but she has a whole whack of other things that are amazing. Okay. So there are 3 stages of menopause that I wanted to sort of lay out for you here, because I found this so fascinating, because we all are like, oh, I'm dreading menopause. And we talk about this menopause. But if you look at this, perimenopause can start as early as your mid-30s, and it can last for 10, 15 years. There's no definitive time for this. Everybody is different. Every person is going to go through it differently. Menopause is 1 day. So if you haven't had a period for 12 months consecutively, not even a little bleed, you have had nothing for 12 months, that day signifies menopause. The day after for the rest of your life is postmenopause. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone else go, wow, I didn't know that? Because when I was reading that, I was like, I thought menopause was this larger stage where like we went through this massive time frame, but perimenopause and postmenopause are the longer phases. Menopause is this tiny little bleep. So if you say you're in menopause, it's that 1 day. That's it. Okay, fun fact. So why the old ways don't work? So we've got eating little, exercising more, being busy, and supplementing wrong. So eating less to lose weight as we get older is actually the opposite of what you need to do. And the 3 guests that I've had so far can raise their hands and say 100% they're eating way more than they ever ate before they met me. Yeah. Yeah. Shockingly, right? It's like, what? You want me to eat that much?
That much food?
Sorry.
That much food? I'm like, come on.
Yes, I remember you saying that for sure. And when so in our 20s and 30s, if we just like cut out carbs or we just cut out a meal, we'd probably lose weight. But that no longer works anymore, because your body has caught on and been like, wait a minute. And all that's done is cause you problems now, because we didn't know any different then. Exercising more. Exercising to lose weight is not a thing. Exercising is for performance. It's to help you ward off osteoporosis. It's to help you be stronger. It's to help you prevent falls later on. It's to help you, if you want to run a race, to help you run faster, right? It's not a means to lose weight. And that's what we were all taught before. We've been sweating buckets for years for no reason. We've been killing ourselves in the gym or on our home treadmills for no reason. And it's sad, because I mean, I feel terrible as a former personal trainer that I was training people wrong for so many years, because I was that trainer that you would come to if you wanted to be killed. That's what I was known for. Oh, do you want to die today? Go see Carrie. Being busy is hindering you. So like Tammy talked about, she thought being busy was the thing to do, right? And I just need to be busy and go, 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 go. And if I'm busy, I'm probably going to burn calories, and that's probably really good, right? Like that's the mindset that we have. But it's actually hurting your hormones and making you gain weight, because it's increasing your cortisol, throwing your other hormones out of whack. Our bodies want they want peace. They want you to slow down at this stage. They want you to like take life a little slower. And then you're supplementing wrong. And by wrong, I mean, you're probably taking the wrong supplements. You've probably gone to Costco because they're cheaper and you get a lot of them, but it doesn't mean that they're better for you. They're probably just like hardly have anything in them, for one. So you're just wasting your money in a sense. And you've heard that it helps with XYZ, but it's maybe something that your body doesn't actually need. So imagine if you could, eat more food, actually like not be hangry because you've been starving yourself all day, not exercise yourself to death, not be as busy, and supplement the right way so you're saving money and you feel 1,000 times better. And again, remember, these rules were made by men for men. They weren't made for us. So what you need to do, first of all, welcome to your 40s. If you do not already have a mysterious ailment, one will be assigned to you shortly. That was a funny quote that I saw, and I was like, this is like right on with what we're talking about. So what you need to do now, and again, I'm just sort of like blanketing these, but I'm giving you the points that this is what we need to do right now. We need to eat more anti-inflammatory foods. So anti-inflammatory means no wheat, dairy, corn, soy, sugar. And you're all going to be like, oh my God, but what do I eat then? Right? Because Christy's been there, Tammy's been there, and Lee's been there. Lee's on here right now. Every client that I've had has been like, well, what do I eat then? Because that's all what I've eaten. But that's what I teach you. I teach you the anti-inflammatory, because this is a whole other topic as well. But as we get older, our body's full of inflammation just from the things that we've accrued over the years. We need to fight it by eating an anti-inflammatory diet. You're exercising now to build strength and for performance. So that means walking and lifting weights. It doesn't mean going and doing 1,000 burpees and, you know, running around the neighborhood 500 times, right? It doesn't mean that. It means changing your lifestyle habits to suit this stage. And that's a bunch of other things, but it means like a regular bedtime routine, a regular wake up time, regular eating times. Your body likes routine. As much as you might want to fight it, your body loves routine. We need to optimize sleep, because as we get older, I know many of you in the chat right at the beginning said, I don't sleep that well, and I would love to sleep better. We've all been there, right? So we need to optimize sleep, and there's ways that we can optimize sleep. And managing your stress. That's a huge piece, right, girls? Managing our stress is major, major deal, because you can be doing the anti-inflammatory nutrition, and if your stress is still high, you're still going to stay stuck. So that's only one piece of managing the stress. There's a lot of other things that we need to do to manage stress. So what we're all here for, how do we do it? So first of all, there's 3 phases in the journey: the hormonal reset, metabolism recharge, and re-energize phase. I've got a 3, 6, and 12-month program. In the 3-month, you're not getting through all 3 of these. You're basically just going through the hormonal reset. We're resetting the body, because we've done a lot of damage throughout the years to our bodies. We've eaten too little, we've exercised too much, we've had too much stress, we've ingested so many toxins. We need to do a reset. Metabolism recharge, this is where we start losing the fat, because our body has healed. Now it's able to release the fat, but we need to go through the healing foundations phase before we can start to see the fat loss come off. And then the re-energize phase, this is like the reverse aging phase, where it's like, this is going to be a lifestyle. How do I maintain it? How do I get over plateaus? How do I keep losing if I need to? How do I start defining my muscles? Because if you come to me and say, I want to get toned, I'm going to take that as you want to build muscle, because toning is not really a thing. And you're not going to get bulky. You're not going to look like a man if you start lifting weights. Billy Joe's been lifting weights for a year with me now, and she doesn't look like a man. And so it's about how to maintain this lifestyle so you never have to start again on a Monday. So that if you notice your body composition changing, you can start thinking, what do I have to do to make these changes go away? You'll know these signs, you'll know what's happening, and you'll know what to do about it. So how? And this might feel like a lot, but the 3 girls that I have on panel, and anyone else, I know Lee's here. I'm trying to see the names. There might be a couple other that are here that are in the program, but it's all a process. It becomes second nature, and this might look like a lot at the beginning, but it becomes part of your life, right, Christy? Yes, yes. Christy was a little overwhelmed at the beginning. I got to do what? But since day 1, she has been on point. So as much as skepticism that she had, she ran with it, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we log food, sleep, exercise, bowel movements, water, and moods. And this is because I need to see what you're doing at home. If I can't see, I can't help. You follow my no guesswork workouts. So you don't have to think about it. Carrie knows what to do. You follow along with me. I tell you kind of like the weight range kind of thing. I tell you what we're working on. You embrace my step-by-step guide to healthy hormones during the menopause journey. We do saliva testing. Tammy alluded to this, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a second. There's one-on-one coaching, there's group calls, and there's a community of women that are doing this together. And this quote, you've probably seen it before, but we become the 5 people we hang around with the most. So if you're hanging out with people that, go out for dinner 5 nights a week and sit and watch Netflix, you're going to become them. So you need to become part of a community that honors what you want to do and has the lifestyle you want. So you have people that are helping you along and you're not feeling alone. So a couple pictures here, and then I'm going to share my screen so that you can see. I didn't really know how to add a video to this. And again, if you were all here in the beginning, my technical abilities are little. This is what the Practice Better app looks like. Now, this is no one in particular. I took this off the internet just so I wouldn't point out anybody. But basically, I can see everything you eat in a day, and it doesn't show it, but at the bottom, it shows your exercise, your bowel movements, your water intake, all the stuff. So in a day, I can see what your day looks like. It's very helpful. When you don't track, you don't stay on track, really. Right? Like there's been Billy Joe tracked almost every day. Yeah. Tammy, you've tracked every day. Chrissy's tracked every day. I know Lee, who's on this call, didn't track, and now she tracks, and she is doing 1,000 times better because she's tracking. So it's kind of that mindset of like, if I didn't write it down, did it actually happen? Did those 2 cookies actually go in my mouth, or was I just like envisioning that, right? But if you have to track it, you're going to be more mindful of it. So tracking is a key point, and this app does it all. You can have it on your phone or your computer. Super convenient. This is the saliva hormone test that was alluded to a little bit. And this test, so the picture on the left, this is the cortisol graph. So this tells us, you can't really see it that well, but this portion here is just picturized here. But it tells us estrogen, progesterone, the ratio between those two, DHEAS and cortisol, the ratio between those two, and testosterone. So this gives us a good picture of like what's going on with your body and what's keeping you stuck. And then from this test, I customize the plan for you based on what we need to work on specifically for you. What supplements are going to help you as opposed to just taking random supplements, because we know your body is lacking in estrogen. Right now, this test is showing that this person is in burnout phase. And most likely, because of the high cortisol in the morning and the really big dip, this is indicative of gut imbalance. So this tells us that kind of thing as well. So we can tell what's going on with the body. And then, the morning starts off with good cortisol, and then there's like nothing left. So energy's dipping here. Things are happening that you don't feel good. You go to bed and you're exhausted, but maybe you can't fall asleep, or you wake up a lot at night. These are telling us why. Okay, so I need to stop my screen because I want to show you. I'm going to show you, we do have a Facebook group where the community comes together. Recipes are posted there. Tammy shared this week her little tip about when she goes to restaurants, she brings her little mini olive oil with her, because we all know that those seed oils are terrible. Hopefully you know that the seed oils at the restaurants are terrible. So if you're going to have a salad there, if that's what you're going to have, bringing that little thing with you is always a good idea. So we have a bunch of shares as well. Let me just get out of here. Okay. So the exercise platform. Once a month, I go through, I upload basically new videos for that month. So we're working on progressive overload, which means that you want to get better at the exercises as you go along the month. So this month, it's called Moods, right here. And we're doing chest and triceps. This was after the long weekend, maybe. So it was chest and triceps on Tuesday. And we're going to work on, so throughout the video, I'm telling you to go heavier. If you get to a certain number, you need to go heavier in your weights, etc. So I'm making you follow along with me. And then we won't listen to the video, but I don't know what I'm doing there. I don't know what I'm doing there. I do actually move. This is a little hit set that we did. And then you just follow along with me. I tell you how to do the exercise. It's maybe not the best. Oh, look, I'm resting again. There's so anyways, I do actually work out in them. I hit them at the wrong spots. So you would either follow along with this month's workout, or you're welcome, Emily, was on this call earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but Emily does our Pilates on Monday nights. So if that's of interest to you, it's another modality that you can use. We do also have yoga on the
Hi,
page.
I'm still here.
Oh, hi, Emily. That's Emily in the
I'm
flesh.
still here.
So, yeah, Emily came with me from the gym and she teaches this amazing Pilates class. If you've never done Pilates, do Pilates. I was one of those, I've never done it. So I did her class and it was good. So you'll see a lot of me on here. But you can go through and pick any number of workouts that you want to do. So there's the yoga. So if you don't want to do my moods workout that month, maybe you go to hot flash, which was last month, right? Like it's up to you where you go. But you don't always start with doing a workout that is the month. I might say to you, well, we're going to hold off for a little bit. We're just going to walk at first. So it is individualized that way. And then, okay, so I'm going to go back to my screen here. So I'm just going to take you on a little journey of my page. Oh, we went right back to it. Okay. Okay, so what you can expect. You can expect weight loss if that's one of your goals. You definitely will lose weight. I can't guarantee, I will never guarantee that you're going to lose 30, 50 pounds in 6 months because it depends on your body. It depends on your hormones. It depends how you do the program. But I can say that you'll have better sleep. You'll have more energy. Your sex drive will probably return. You might even reduce your medication. You'll gain more confidence because you'll feel really good about yourself. You'll get to shop for whatever you want. How lovely is that? I remember Billy Joe going, I kept having to grab different sizes because I thought it was this and I'm not this. I think Christy just went and did that the other week too, where she grabbed like the size down and she had to go like 5 sizes down or something like that, like totally blown away. But you can shop for whatever you want and you can fit into old clothes. So maybe you've got those, like Tammy said, those skinny clothes in your closet and you can go back and wear your favorites again. What I expect, because I do have expectations as well, I would like you to have a willingness to change because that's what we're all here for. If you keep doing the same thing, nothing's going to change. You're still going to be where you are today. Be coachable. Just let me, I know what I'm doing. Just let me coach you through it. Be open to new ideas. Some of the stuff that I tell you, you're going to be like, I remember someone telling me to meditate and I was like, whatever. And I totally do it now, but I wasn't open to it at that point. I'm open to it now. So there's a timeline that this stuff happens to. Open to weekly check-ins. This is where I get to find out how your week's been. If there's still something we need to struggle on, do we need to meet for a one-on-one? Do we need to talk this through? It helps me figure out where we're at in the journey. Sending data to me weekly, data meaning like measurements, pictures, your food logs, and any check-in information that I need. Food log details, that's important. Big one is I expect you to run to me, not away from me when life gets hard. And I didn't put if, I put when, because life is going to get hard along this journey. It doesn't matter where you're at. Something will come up because something always does. But that's when you run to me because life is always going to happen. We're always going to have things that come up. So if we stop working on ourselves during the hard times, we're always going to start and stop. So why not learn how to get through those tough times and still feel good? And then trust me in the process. You have 3 lovely ladies here, 4 with Lee, and they can attest that if you trust the process, it works. So this is just what clients have said. I really can't make this stuff up. You can read a couple of them if you want. I don't want to take too much more of our time. We're going to go to a bit of Q&A in a second. Yes. So I wish I would have done this years ago and saved myself so much grief. How many times have I heard this? Like a million times. Well, 200 times, let's say, because I thought I worked with 200 women, not a million. This one's good. When you think about it, it's not that hard. The things that I give you, and ladies, you can nod if you agree, things I give you aren't out there. They're literally like, get outside, put some sun on your face, drink water. They're all basic things. It's not like I'm telling you, you need to go to Toronto to the market to grab this thing. It's literally things that are in your, it's almost like it's too simple in a sense that we kind of go, that's it. I cried when I went to the store because I pulled on a different size of clothes, right? Like these are the things that I've gotten sent to me by text. So have a read on those. Okay, so we're gonna go into Q&A now. I'm gonna stop the recording after this, but does anyone have any questions? Say question if you have one in the chat and I will answer them. I missed a few here. Yeah, fertility is a big thing too. And we don't really talk about it a lot because I do work with women that are 40 plus, but if you know anyone that is struggling to get pregnant in their 30s, this hormone balancing helps them too. Because if they can't get pregnant, it means their sex hormones are out of balance, and that's why they're not getting pregnant. And oftentimes they can get pregnant when they start working on their hormones. Yeah, the app is very easy. Yes, hi Emily. Deanne, we should have a conversation. I don't agree with eating twice a day between 10 and 6. That's more of a fasting. And again, fasting is made for men by men. Women should really only fast at max twice a week. So if you're fasting on a regular basis, it could be why you're stuck. Your body needs more food. The misconception about intermittent fasting is that I get to skip a whole morning, right? And then in our brains, we're like, I should be losing weight because I'm just going to eat a small salad and then I'm going to eat a small dinner. And then I'm not going to eat again until 10 o'clock. So like 10 o'clock the next day, and that's what you put in there. So I don't agree with that. You need more food. To do intermittent fasting properly, and again, I wouldn't suggest it for women over 40, you need to, so let's say, we're just going to use numbers because we can all relate to that. If you need to eat 2,000 calories in a day, you need to eat 2,000 calories between those 2 meals. Nobody's doing that because that's a lot of food between 10 and 6. And maybe you are, Deanne, sorry. Maybe you are, but most often when women go to intermittent fasting, it's because they go, oh, I get to skip a meal and I'm allowed because it's called intermittent fasting. But we need to eat properly to fuel our body. Sometimes intermittent fasting is necessary, but what I teach is not, and we get results without intermittent fasting. Are there any other questions? Any questions that you want to direct to Christy, Tammy, or Billy Joe? While those are coming in, Billy Joe, I'm going to read this one. Billy Joe, do you want to hop off and just give like a quick share since we missed your lovely voice? Are you on mute? Can't hear you. You're on mute. You're still on mute. Is Gavin there to help? She's going to go ask. Okay. I've tried so many programs. Okay. So yes, I think I know what Lee is saying here. Read Lee's comment in the chat. Lee is one that, and I'm sure she'll be okay with me sharing, but Lee is one that came in, had a hard time starting. And, you know, every day was, I still feel like crap. I'm really tired. I don't, you know, I just want to feel better. And it took, like, we had a couple conversations and then she's like, okay, I'm ready. And as soon as she said, I'm ready, she has felt 1,000 times better since that day. And it was because she hadn't quite grasped the idea, correct me if I'm wrong, but she didn't quite grasp it at the beginning. And she didn't really like what she was eating. It was so habitual that she wasn't able to get ready to like let that piece go. But as soon as she did, yeah, she used to go and pick up the Costco specials. Yeah. Yes. And she fought it. Yes, she fought it. And we fought through it together. So it was great. Are you able to come off mute yet?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you.
Okay.
We can't see you, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. When you see me, you can't hear me. And when you can't see me, now you can hear me. So I think it's time to go buy a new computer.
Might be.
Yes. So it's very frustrating. But I'm not sure what you want me to talk about at the moment.
So why don't just like really, because we're at 8:20 here,
Yeah.
go through just a really quick, like, I know you can't do quick, but how do you feel now? Let's do that.
Fabulous. Fabulous. I've been doing it for, I think now 15 or 16 months.
Yeah, I was
Like
over
I'm a
year.
graduate. And it is just part of my lifestyle. The main thing is consistency. Once you figure it out, you're done figuring it out. It's easy.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, consistent. That's my,
Yes.
yeah. And now we've been working together for so long. Now I'm working on a little bit more other like stresses and stuff, which are out of your control, and you learn how to control it.
Yeah.
When you said about trying new things, I'm doing a gratitude journal now, which is kind of cool. At first I was just like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, just like when you were saying about the yoga.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's just honestly, it's a no-brainer. I'm now sleeping well, which is amazing. I go to bed at 10:30 every night. I get up at 6:15, do my walking for the half hour, and I do my other half hour at lunchtime. So then that is all done before I get home. And then on the days that we work out, I sometimes do it in the morning, I sometimes do it at night, just depending on my week. And it's not difficult. It's just part of my day, just like going to work. So, and I have a 10-hour day in the sense of traveling my work and then traveling home. So there's no excuse for, well, I have a long day, I can't fit it in. You can if you want to, if it's important to you.
Yeah.
And I have more energy because of it. So
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
so those things don't feel so daunting because you have the energy now.
yes, exactly. And then the tracking part is, I think, 100% must, because if you don't, you truly kind of forget, what did I eat? Did I eat enough? Did I eat properly? So
Yeah.
like on the treadmill in the morning, I already put down my sleep. I already put down my ginger water, which is my wake up snack. So I track constantly, so it's not overwhelming, because you don't want to track at the end of the day and go,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this feels like a big chore. So yeah, I just think those minor little changes in life can make such a huge difference at the end.
Yeah.
And I have just, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but I have, anyone who knows me, I have constantly been fighting my weight my whole life. My first Weight Watchers concept, I was in grade 4, and I went to a community thing with a whole bunch of senior citizens. And so it's been constantly my whole life. Now I'm done. I'm 48 years old. I did this program. I should have done it 10 years ago. And I'm so happy that I'm done with dieting. I just live now. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. And back to that tracking thing. So right now, do you remember what you ate for breakfast?
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm just in general, I know you do. In general question, do you remember what you had for breakfast? And do you remember how many times you pooed today? And it's a funny question, but if you really think about it, it's like, when did I go? Like it's, and that's the piece about tracking, is like, we forget. Our days are busy, our days are full, and we forget. So when you're trying to stay on track with something and feel really good, the tracking is very helpful. So there's 2 questions here in the chat. Where does alcohol factor into this program, and are treats a part of it? So I'm going to go to the treats. So there's treats, but they're anti-inflammatory treats. So Billy Joe is a big fan of avocado chocolate pudding, probably has it every day. Dark chocolate, I eat that. There's fat balls. So usually when you're looking for something sweet and you got that sweet craving, it means that you're not eating enough fats. And fats are a big part of our program. So avocado pudding, made of avocados. And it really doesn't, it tastes really good. Like it's a really nice treat. So yes, there's treats. They're just made differently. And I teach you how to do that. As far as alcohol, what answer do you want? So when you're in your healing phase, it is best to avoid as much alcohol as you can, because every time alcohol takes about 2 weeks to get out of your system. So if you think I only have 1 or 2 drinks a month, you're still putting toxin into your body. which is then eliminating the healing from happening faster. So during your healing phase, I always recommend, I never say you can't, but I recommend that you eliminate it as much as possible. Let's say you come into the program, you eliminate the alcohol, and then like 6 weeks in, I'm like, what are you missing the most? Oh, I miss my wine. Okay, have a glass of wine. But I want you to report back to me and tell me how you're feeling. I want you to be aware of what alcohol is doing to you. And then you report back and we talk about it. And I've had this happen many times, but usually it's like, oh, I slept like crap that night, or all I wanted to do was eat junk food, or I woke up in the morning and I was so tired, I didn't even want my breakfast. It's the learning part of it. So I've had people have alcohol the entire time. The process is just slower. So it really depends where you're at in that stage. Ideally, yeah, you get rid of it. I don't drink, but so I can't empathize with that. But I know I've been through with many people, we are able to do it. It just is a slower process, that's all. Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. No, I'm gonna stop. Yep, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. For those that are watching the replay, I will send you a separate email. This next section is just for those that are on the call today.